Welcome to the first episode of. I don't have a name for this podcast yet, but if you guys have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Today, we're going to be talking about a lot of different stuff, my hot takes on certain things, the political climate, maybe. Not really. I don't like talking about politics, and I like to keep those out of my podcast. Let's see, what else am I going to actually talk about? Maybe some new things that I've been trying. I have new hobbies that I've been trying out, and I bought a couple new products that I'm very excited to talk about. Not sponsored though, unfortunately, but maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll have a sponsor or two. That would be great. Okay, so today, the first thing I want to talk about, honestly, is just where I'm at in my life and what's happening with it. So right now, I'm living in Michigan, United States. I reference the United States because I've lived in other areas before. China, most recently, I've lived in, so that's cool. Uh, let's see. So what's on the agenda for me? My idea is to go to China in August and work on my podcasting while also teaching English at a university. So a lot of times in China, for those of you that don't know, if you have a bachelor's degree in any field, pretty much in the United States, and you're a native English speaker, you can actually go to China, Thailand, Vietnam, a lot of those Asian countries that don't speak English as their first language, and you can teach English there. And a lot of the jobs are going to be teaching little kids, like elementary, kindergarten level students, which is great for a lot of people if that's what the kind of teaching that you think you'd be good at. If you want to teach kids, then more power to you. Personally, I'm not necessarily the most fond of kids. Uh, I just don't have like that personality, like that really bubbly, happy, yay kind of thing going on. So, uh, yeah, I would recommend if you're into that, if you have if you have the qualifications that I outlined, which are very minimal, pretty much, and you have a inclination to want to travel and live abroad, definitely recommend trying to teach abroad. I would recommend for China specifically echinacities.com. And then for other jobs, eslcafe.com, and there's several others. So if you just look up ESL teaching China, Japan, Korea, whatever you want, whatever country you want to go to, there will be job postings for those. And the pay is pretty good. For instance, if you live in China and you want to teach kindergarten, if you live in a city like Shanghai, which is like the biggest city in China, about 30 million people, you can get paid somewhere between, this is in Kwai, which is Chinese money, it's about 25 to 35,000 a month. And so that roughly translates to in US dollars about 3,500 to $5,000 a month. Am I doing the math right? Yeah. 3,500 US dollars to 5,000 US dollars a month. But also, things that you need to consider is a lot of countries, China specifically, if you're looking for that one, because that's the one I know the most about. If you're looking to do this in China, um, they give you a lot of more perks and benefits too. Like they'll give you free flights to and from home. A lot of times, either one or two a year. They'll give you a free apartment or a housing stipend that will cover an apartment. They give you a ridiculous amount of paid time off if you can find the right jobs. Now, this is if you have a little bit of experience. Your first job, you might not get as much time off, but if you have like 2 or 3 years experience at that point, you can get some really good paid time off. You can get paid summers vacation, paid winter vacation, and paid Chinese holidays, which I know some teachers that live in China that are getting 4 to 5 months of paid vacation a year. So you're only working, 7 to 8 months a year, and you have weekends off. A lot of people have a day off in the middle of the week as well, so you're only working maybe 4 to 5 days a week. And a lot of times the teaching hours vary. For kindergarten through like elementary school, I'd say your hours are going to be probably you're going to be working 40 hours in the sense that you have to be there for 40 hours, but you'll only be teaching like 15 to 20 hours a week. And then the rest will be prep and grading, and there'll be events that you have to do. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting experience, and a lot of other countries are very similar. It's pretty much everything I outlined just now can be outfitted towards Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, not Taiwan. For some reason, Taiwan doesn't do housing. I'm not sure why. Don't ask me. But yeah, so I would recommend that. If you have a bachelor's degree, want to travel, want to live abroad, want to experience the world, which I do, then I would recommend teaching abroad. Which brings me back to my original point. My life. I got a little sidetracked there, but like a spokesperson for ESL teaching abroad. But so for my life, I actually already have a flight booked in August. I have a flight to Shanghai. Uh, I am currently looking at positions in either Wenzhou, Shanghai, or Guangzhou. So these are three big cities in China. Guangzhou is probably my best bet for university teaching, which is kind of what I'm leaning towards because I like teaching adults. I have had a lot of experience in college. I was in college for quite a long time, and so I know that, atmosphere. I know what it's like to be a student, and also the requirements are sometimes can be a little bit higher. Like a lot of sometimes it'll ask you to have a master's degree and have 3 years experience, but some schools, local universities, don't require as much. Um, so I would say that university jobs for me would be the best bet because even though the pay is lower, somewhere between 13 and 16,000 a month, which is like 1,800 to 2,200 US dollars a month. But you also get all the other things still, like the benefits, like the paid time off and the free housing and the flight reimbursement. Um, but you only have to do somewhere between 16 and 20 classes a week, no office hours, and the classes are about 45 minutes. So you're working anywhere between 12 and 16 hours a week plus prep and grading. So you're looking maybe 25, 28 hours a week. If you really manage your time well, you could probably get all that done in that time frame. So you're not working 40, you're working about 28 hours a week, we'll say. So that's 12 hours less a week, which gives me more time to work on my podcast, my videos, maybe some music stuff. That's upcoming. We'll see. I'm working on that. Right now, I'm trying to get some stuff set up for a studio. But yeah, so that's what's in the future for me. I'm thinking about moving there. I already have my flight booked, so honestly, it's not really thinking about. I'm doing it. Uh, and I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of where I'll want to live because I want to live somewhere that's expat friendly. So if you want to live someplace that has a lot of cultural stuff for Americans like myself or wherever you're from, then yeah, cities like Guangzhou, Shanghai, Shenzhen, those will be your best bets because they're really culturally diverse. There's a lot of expats there. So there's a lot of foreigners that are living there for work. But yeah, so that's what's going on with my future for now. I'm starting the podcast, first episode. Thanks for tuning in. By the way, I really appreciate it. And if you like what I'm saying, or if you want to just keep checking it out, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it as a small creator trying to figure out YouTube and everything about it. But yeah, let's get into some other things. Hot takes. All right. So I know this might be a little bit much. Some people might think I'm a bit conceited about this, but Tarantino films I think are a bit overrated. And here's why. Before you bite my head off, comment section. I know Tarantino films, they have this essence of being they're very well produced, obviously, and very well directed because Tarantino is a very respected director. But at the same time, they're very hard to follow sometimes. They're hard to follow the storylines, and they have such crazy twists and turns, which a lot of people like, that it leaves you feeling, at least me, leaves me feeling unnerved. Like something like I am watching this film and I'm like, oh great, okay, because when you watch a film, a lot of times you try to predict what's going to happen, and it puts your mind at ease a little bit when you're watching something and you have this assumption of what might happen or what you think will happen. And then Tarantino has a habit of changing that completely, which is could be a good thing for a lot of people. But for me, I've watched, several of his films, The Hateful Eight, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill. I've watched a lot of his films, and I just don't understand the mindset he was in when he creates these films. Like what he was trying to accomplish by making the films that way, I guess. Don't tear me up in the comment section. I know that that's a hot take and that it's not very common for people to dislike Tarantino films. I know there's some people that just don't watch them, but the people who have watched them, like myself, that didn't like them I feel like I'm in the minority there for that. Uh, but yeah, so that's one of the things I would say is one of my hot takes. Also, another one is that I think that this is not really a hot take. It's more like a controversial thing. I think Drake is a much better musician and artist than Kendrick Lamar. I've listened to a lot of both of their music, and I understand that lyrically and for the culture of rap music, Kendrick may have had made a wow. Kendrick has made a larger impact on the culture, and he has a lot stronger messages in his music, which I can get behind that. That's great. But as far as a standalone music taste perspective, Drake's music is just better to listen to. I can listen to it over and over, and it doesn't feel repetitive. It doesn't feel it feels smooth, and he's got good beats, and he's got kind of instead of like a full rap like Kendrick does a lot of times, Drake has like a melodic rap where he'll rap, but he'll be like singing while he raps, which I like. I'm not going to try to mimic it because I'm not Drake. But yeah, so that's another kind of controversial thing that I'd say that Drake is better than Kendrick Lamar, just because I like his style. I like the melodic rap is really cool. I would love to be able to do something like that. I'm working on it. I haven't figured out what my style is going to be. That's what we'll talk about next, actually. Let's talk about my music. So, I've made music on and off for several years. Very limited. I haven't made that many music. I haven't made that many songs. Maybe one or two here and there. I have a few on YouTube that if you're on my channel, you can go to my videos and you'll see it. It'll be under there. There's a couple songs on there, and they're rap, kind of. But I've never really found my style because I wasn't sure if I wanted to be more of like a singer or if I wanted to do rap, because I like rap music, but I like singing as well. That could be why I'm so drawn to Drake, because he's got that mixture of singing and rapping, which is ideal, is exactly what I'm trying to do as well. So yeah, I want to bring my own perspective to the music, obviously, because that's what music's about. So I'd say that the future of my music is going to be, I'm experimenting right now. I'm trying to find out what my style will be and what my overall music type will be. So yeah, that's what's going on with my music, and that's what's going on with my future so far. I want to show you guys this new product that I've been trying out. So you guys have probably heard of the Lark brand. This is their This 2 bottle. I could be mispronouncing that, but it's their newer water bottle, and it's pretty cool. It's got this UV light. Honestly, I don't know exactly what it does. I know that it's self-cleaning. I'm gonna guess that's the light. It's got a filtered straw in it, so that's cool. So it filters out some of the chemical or some of the bad stuff that's in your water that you may not even know is there. It's got a handle. It's pretty nice, very well insulated. I really like this bottle. I didn't pay full price for it because, some people pay full price and it's like $110, so it can be a little pricey. But I would say that if you can get it on sale, it's definitely worth a buy. Not a sponsor, by the way. Not sponsored by Lark at all. This is my first podcast, so I have zero sponsors, but maybe one day. I'd like to be sponsored by Nike, but I don't really talk about shoes. I love shoes. Maybe I should talk about shoes. Okay, so thanks for tuning in today's podcast. I know it's kind of a short one. This is just a feeler episode trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing with this podcast, and I'm going to try to release a video every week. If not more than that would be great. But for now, I'm gonna leave you with this. If you really want to teach abroad, or if you want to live abroad and experience what the world's like, go be an ESL teacher. You can look online, look at ESL teachers. If you have a bachelor's degree in any field and you're a native English speaker, you can do it now, which is great. Tarantino movies are a little overrated, and I think Drake's better than Kendrick Lamar. Those are my hot takes. Thank you for tuning in to today's podcast, or I guess this week's podcast, and I will see you guys next week. All right. See ya.